Hello everybody and welcome to the traffic fixing tutorial, traffic fixing with mods tutorial. I think this is part one of the actual tutorial where we're going to actually be utilizing everything and fixing traffic. We've loaded up a map that is included with mass transit called Fix the Traffic. It's one of the scenarios that the developers put together. And it's just basically a city, and the scenario is all about just like getting the traffic flow up to, what is it, 85% I think is the goal. I don't know if we're going to strictly go for the scenario because there is a time limit and we're not going to really be in a rush or anything. We're going to chill out and just do this. I was kind of thinking this wasn't going to be a big deal, but looking at this, I mean, the traffic in this city is nuts. It's not going to be, we're going to be completely capable of fixing it. But the way they design this city is just so non-logical. It's just crazy to me. I mean, look at this commercial area here, or maybe this is residential. I don't know. Look at all these stop signals, and these big, huge, giant roads and everything. It's just goofy. And I think we have a big traffic jam. No, we don't have the traffic jam here anymore. It started off with a big jam there. These cars actually waiting in here? Wow. So yeah, this is not looking so good. We go to the actual traffic map mode. There is a little bit of traffic here, and there is something I want to do here. It's kind of cleared itself up, but there is something I want to do in that section. The city is actually just a complete mess. It actually took me probably about an hour just to be able to get the city like functional, so that it wouldn't actually die. As you can see, like the city is actually suffering from an immense amount of problems. But let's just pick a spot and start working on the traffic using the mods and such that we have. So of course we have the 4 mods, Move It, Network Extensions, Find Road Tools, and most important, Traffic Manager mod. And the first 3 parts of the setup tutorial, right, leading up to the tutorial, the preliminary episodes, if you haven't seen those, there's going to be a link to those down below in the description. But those sort of go over the basic functionality of those mods, how to get them, so on and so forth. So now we're going to start applying them. And this really isn't a huge traffic jam, but this is still kind of like tilting me a little bit. As you can see here, we have this issue where these people are coming over. They're making a left turn to get on the roundabout. These people are making a left turn to get off the roundabout. Them getting off the roundabout with a left turn is fine. But this system just doesn't work, and there's a simple fix for that. And that's because this is going clockwise. If you have right-hand traffic, you really should be doing counterclockwise roundabouts. In fact, actually, we're just going to convert these to the roads without the little grass bits because it's unnecessary. So now, as we can see, these people are making a right turn to get on the roundabout. These people are now making a right turn to get off the roundabout. It's all right turns. It's all right turns. This is going to flow much better just because of that one change. Unfortunately, we are going to be sort of destroying a bit of buildings here by upgrading here to a 4-lane road without the median. We just don't need that much space. It's just not necessary. And if the game really wants us to come in and redo this, we can. Here you go, game. Figure that out. I've actually never played on a European map before, so some of the buildings are kind of interesting. They look really nice, actually. The city looks horrible, but I mean, some of these, if you zoom in really far, it looks kind of nice. Kind of cool. All right. So what we're going to actually do is we're not done here because this is just a standard roundabout and these don't hold up. We're going to come in with... Actually, you know what? Let's go in with a 2-lane. That's just the vanilla 2-lane. That, of course, this 1 lane, 1 way is network extensions, right? That's giving us that option there. We're going to come in with the 2-lane and we're basically going to use the freeform tool, anarchy on, all the goodness flipped on here. We are going to need anarchy to be able to do this. So we do have our anarchy down here selected. We're just going to come out here, just, in between here, a little bit away from this intersection. And we're going to hook in and actually make a connection point right in between these two nodes. And let's back this up. I need to remake that anyway. So let's explain why we're doing that. So if we look at our roundabout here, these people can come in, right? 2 lanes turning into 2 lanes. That seems fine. These 2 lanes can go into these 2 lanes. That seems fine. There's one fundamental problem going on here. If we look at this lane here, it's a straight only. So this lane is allowed to go into this lane. This lane is allowed to go into this lane. This lane is allowed to go into this lane. See where I'm going with this? While Sims can get on to the roundabout and get into this outer lane, they actually can't switch out of it, which is why we're never going to see a single Sim going to the outside lane. So you'd think, okay, maybe some of these Sims need to go over here. A Sim that needs to go over here, we'd like them to just use the outside lane, just skip around, right? No, they won't do that. Because if they get in the outside lane here, they're stuck. Part of that is because if we go to Traffic Manager mod, we go to Lane Connector, we can see there's no junctions here. There's no junctions here. We've added a junction here by doing that little connection here. Now we have a junction. This invisible junction, it's not an intersection, but this invisible junction allows the cars to make lane changes here. So they can be coming in on the outside lane, or I guess in this case it'd actually be the inside lane. And they can actually change into this lane here and then make their right turn. So we might actually see some Sims doing that. But regardless, what we're going to do is we're going to actually come in here. And I guess we're going to need to set to ground so we get the nice hook to the ground instead of having that elevated. We're just going to come in here and we're going to make some of these goofy things. Doesn't need to be exact because here's the secret. We're going to change all that. We're going to adjust all of these roads with Move It. But all I'm doing here is I'm taking, we're making a roundabout basically. A much more efficient roundabout. Much more efficient roundabout. We're connecting just a little shortly from this junction, just shortly back. And then we're going to connect in between these 2 junctions. Again, creating that extra junction that we're going to need. And this looks horrible, guys, but I promise you, we're done here. It's going to be fantastic. And we are absolutely destroying a lot of buildings here, but that's just the way of it. That's just the way of it. Okay. So this looks crazy. This looks crazy. But we can now get rid of these. And now these are slip lanes basically, right? If people are getting off, they just slip off. If people are getting on, they just slip on. So making a roundabout, especially when you want to make a really solid, really efficient roundabout and one that is utilizing the different mods that we have at our disposal, it's a multi-step process, right? You make the initial roundabout, then you come in with these pieces using Anarchy, then you use Move It to straighten it up like this, and we're not done with it. We're not done with Move It yet, but we're going to straighten these. We're literally just going to pull this large circle over the small circle. That's literally just going to straighten this road. That's going to tell us that this road is perfectly straight. And you can actually do this any way you want. You can be creative. You can have a little bit of a curve there. There's nothing criminal about that whatsoever. So we're using Move It now. So first we build just the roundabout. Maybe we use roads from network extensions. Maybe we don't. Then we use Anarchy to get these side roads. Then we use Move It to get this system. And now we can see that this thing's looking nice. But it's still like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not acceptable. How do we fix that? We're going to take Move It again. We're going to grab these junctions here and we're just going to pull them back. Until it sort of warps into an acceptable view. Go. There we go. And then the final step is actually Traffic Manager mod, because right now, look at this. Look at this. Someone can actually come this way, get into this lane, and turn left. Well, if they just need to go this way, we expect them to just continue on here through the roundabout. Why would we have these people turning left here? That makes no sense. Because if this person coming in this way needed to go that way, they would have just gone this way, right? So we don't want anyone. We want all this traffic going into these 2 lanes. So this is where we come in with, whoops, sorry, wrong menu. I'm so used to having Traffic Manager mod. You know what? I'm going to put it where I'm used to it. There we go. I'm so used to having it on the right side, even if it's kind of like it's over here and then the actual menu's over here. It's something I've gotten used to. You can put it wherever you like. So we need to actually come in here and say, no, these are actually just getting on. or off. And these are just to go. Right click to move to a new junction. Multi-step process, but the result here is going to be an amazing roundabout that can handle a huge amount of cars for compared to a traditional roundabout. Like roundabouts really aren't the end-all be-all. In fact, there's a lot of traffic issues that just simply cannot be fixed with a roundabout because there's just so much traffic. Roundabouts are good for neighborhoods and things like that, and that's what we got going on here. We got like an end of a commercial area into like a little neighborhood. Okay, so that's the outside's looking good, but now we got to go and paint the inside, because if someone's coming in here, right, someone's coming in here, let's have them do this. Okay, these people are people that want to get down here. They're coming in this lane specifically because they're wanting to get off at the first right, so they don't even really engage with the roundabout at all. They just kind of slip through. These people are looking to get on the roundabout because they might be looking to go somewhere farther into the system, right? These people are looking to get off here because they're on the inside. They're coming in on the inside, so they're looking to get off. These people are still looking to go one step further, again, because they'd like to continue to go around the roundabout. Okay. So we can paint that sort of pattern everywhere. And we can double check, you know, it's a good thing to sort of double check all this and make sure no one's getting trapped anywhere. As you can see, there's an interchange, there's a junction here, so these people on the outside can actually change lanes into this lane if they need to shift over. Just sort of painting the pattern here, divvying up the lanes, giving all the lanes a purpose, right? That's important, giving all the lanes a purpose. So now we can see that here, though, they can make little adjustments. They can make little adjustments here. In fact, I don't think we just want to let the Sims be able to do what they want to do. One thing we could do to help prioritize people actually going to the outside lane is a lot of the times you're not going to see a lot of Sims actually using the outside lane in a small roundabout like this. If this was like a 5-point roundabout and it was much larger, actually, wait a second. Whoa, we got someone on the outside lane. Oh, that's amazing. That is, you know, we're not going to do anything. That Sim is using the outside lane. Look, he switched the outside lane. He's using the outside lane. He cut back in, and now he's going off. So people, naturally, people coming from this way that need to go to the farthest distance are using the outside lane. If they need to go here, they're just slipping it through here. And if they need to go here, they're most likely staying in this lane. They stay here, so they can just slip to there. So literally, every single lane is being used. Every lane has a purpose. The outside lane is only being used for people that are going to the left, that are trying to exit out the left side of the round, you know, their left. The right is the slip lane is what's being used if it's to the right. So now we have a different issue going on here. This is actually a really, really interesting issue here. See how these cars are literally deadlocked? Why? There's no stop sign here. There's no pedestrians crossing. There's no stop light. These cars right here, let's pause the game to see this. These cars are stopped because these cars are occupying this space, this junction, or segment. It's not a junction, it's not an intersection, it's an in-between intersections, right? This segment of road is fully occupied. And here, a couple of things, lots of things. There's actually, so we've just painted the traffic manager, the line connectors, right? So that was step 4. So this is step 5 now. But what's going on is these cars can't come over because this is occupied. This car can't come over because they're detecting that this car is going to fill this space and it's going to be occupied here. This car can't move because it's detecting that this car's here and that this space is occupied here. So you get this weird, like they're stopping, they're stopped. Oh, this is parked cars, of course. But see how, boom, right there, stopped, stopped. They're waiting for these two cars to move. Now they're moving up. Now they're able to move up, but they're still waiting because this car's going. There's only room that the AI thinks there's only room here. So this is an easy fix, though, with Traffic Manager Mod. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. You can't really fix it at all, in fact, without Traffic Manager Mod. So we're going to go into Junction Restrictions. Junction Restrictions. We talked about this, actually, in the setup tutorial, right? But here's an actual area that we're going to use it effectively. we're going to allow these cars to come into the intersection. Look, just flowing, but they're still stopping here because we need to give them permission to flow through the intersection. Now no cars are going to stop here as long as we do this. What's going on here? Anti-select this junction. Huh. Not sure why it's not letting me select that one. That might not be an issue, but... Oh, it is. Never mind. You don't select the segments. You select the actual intersections. My bad. Yeah, we are selecting it here, right? We're selecting this area here and giving them permission to flow through. Okay, so I think we've gotten them all. So now what we're going to see is we're not going to see any stopping. Look at this. They're just flowing. They're just continually flowing. Some of these cars are popping because they're actually turning into pedestrians. They're trying to visit these shops. You don't have to put shops in the middle of a roundabout, right? This is not required. So the last thing is step 6. Okay. Step 6. Let's get rid of the parking. Let's get rid of the parking. We don't need people parking on a busy roundabout. In fact, if we really had even more traffic issues here, we'd probably just get rid of the... Okay, so we could say step 7 if you're not building it from scratch. In this case, I would say a smart step 7 is just, let's just de-zone this. Let's just get rid of this stuff. We don't want zoning on here. Perfect. Literally. Perfect. And we can still decorate this. Heck, we could put a park in here. We could do pedestrian path. We could... Okay, so step 8 is if we wanted to do pedestrian pathways. You know what the heck? Let's make this episode all about making the most ultimate roundabout. Because while the traffic here is like non-existent now, if there was still traffic, the last final thing we could do to make it even more effective is adding pedestrian walkways and preventing pedestrians from crossing. As you can see, pedestrians are slowing down traffic here. So let's do that. Let's just do the ultimate roundabout. So for pedestrian walkways, this is just a vanilla asset, the pedestrian pavement path. I'm always going to turn off snapping for this. We can keep anarchy on, that's fine. Let's just get some of these preliminary things on. Now we're thinking to ourselves, anarchy's going to let us clip the crematorium there. So right now what we have is a slip lane for the pedestrians. They no longer need to travel on this stretch here. They can just walk this way. Now they're not going to do that because they think it's, for whatever reason they're not calculating it correctly and they think it's going to take them more time to do that or something. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get them walking on this in a different way. So now what we need to do is we need to actually get elevated. And we're using anarchy to make this a lot easier. We can do this by going high and then lowering with move it. Because as you can see, we don't need this any higher. The cars aren't clipping here. Although we could raise this up a bit maybe. Actually here, we can actually here, let's use move it. Let's do a new tool. Let's do align heights. So let's grab this. Let's grab all these sections here. And we'll hit align heights, and now we click the point that we want to align to. We align to there. So now this is a perfectly aligned pedestrian pathway. So this is a little slope down here. It's compensated here. It's a little bit raised. It's perfectly even. And the cars are not going to clip here. Just we can do a visual check here to make sure the cars aren't clipping. Nope, they look like they're going under just fine. So we don't need it really any higher or lower. This looks good. Now we need to get the connection up to here. And yes, there is going to be some jank here until we use move it. Okay, now let's go back to move it. Let's grab this here, the point at which these connect. And again, we're just going to pull this out until it looks somewhat acceptable. We have to take out roads, we have to take out roads. Like, people are already using the walkway, which is kind of nuts. Okay. And then the last one here. Now we're just kind of double checking that these pathways, these walkways up look okay. Yeah, they look fine. They look fine. So now what we need to do is, now that we have the roundabout, I can't remember, we'll review, I think I'm going to try my best to review the steps that we've done here. And, because I don't know if we're on step 8 or not, because I'm already thinking about there is technically a step 9. But this is all, we'll call this all part, you know, part 8 here of the roundabout, the ultimate roundabout. And we need to go back to restrictions, junction restrictions. Okay. And pedestrians are no longer allowed to cross. No longer allowed to cross anywhere here. If pedestrians here need to get across, they just walk back and they cross this way. A little bit more of an inconvenience, but, you know, we'll figure it out. So we're just going through all the crosswalks, all the intersections, and just turning off the pedestrians' abilities to cross. Unfortunately, it doesn't visually update the crosswalks. That would be so cool if it got rid of crosswalks visually, but it does not. But as we can see, the Sims, no Sims will be crossing, and we'll be getting a heck of a lot more people on the walkway now because they cannot cross here. So if they want to get over across the street, they either have to go down here or they just walk around here. Okay. So step 9 is an optional step. But step 9 is essentially, you know, you can beautify the roundabout. Come in with a nice rock. Probably don't want trees that are that... We have anarchy, but unfortunately we don't have another mod that's called prop anarchy. That lets us actually put props, like we could put trees in here. That is a large tree, though. And we could maybe come in with just a little rocks here. There we go. And, you know, we could continue to beautify it as well. We could put, heck, we could put a park here. We could actually give the pedestrians a pathway down so they could actually walk to the park, which would be really neat. We can do whatever we want. But thank you so much, everybody. I think that's actually going to be episode 1. It's funny because that's all we've done so far. And there is a city full of massive traffic issues. Massive traffic issues. Like, it's still completely gridlocked. Although what I'm noticing here is, let's turn off this traffic light. And let's get these cars flowing here. In fact, here's an interesting scenario. This will help, you know, get more people to the roundabout. Let's give this person turn only. Let's actually give them a turn too. Everybody's using one lane, right? So we're giving this other lane so much responsibility that we're hoping to get way more people into it. Now, we almost have too many people that are using this outside lane because a lot of these people are just trying to get off this way. And that all could be because of, because this is a dead end here. These cars could be avoiding the roundabout, actually. It's working out fine. We fixed another little side traffic issue. We got more people through the roundabout. There's literally no traffic over here now. Roundabout's looking great. And there's a city full of other traffic issues, but we've sort of solved this issue here, and we've taken a default roundabout and we've made it into an amazing roundabout that can handle a huge amount of load. So thank you so much, everybody. I will see you guys in part 2, where we will tackle another traffic issue with mods.